Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living weekly live broadcast to heal your heart, live sustainably, foster peace. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives that create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world. Our topic today is sound healing for softening the heart. The poet Rumi says, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it, right? We talk a lot about unconditional love here. Love has no conditions. Love is a force that flows and it flows freely. But we human beings have this tendency to block it. When we put up our blocks and barriers around our heart, we do it for self-protection, for self-preservation, because we're faced with a lot of things in the world that can startle us and feel unsafe for the heart, feel unloving for the heart. The heart knows love and love knows the heart, right? So we're going to do a process today with sound. I think we're just going to stick with two basic sounds today that have a really incredible significant meaning for spiraling through the heart and really bringing that love and that force of love through all the chambers of the heart and the pathways of the heart and settling them into the body and helping you rest into this beautiful space of peace, of your authentic connection with the truth of who you are and your connection with all that is. This just beautiful place of restorative life force energy. So that is our process today, and I'm very excited for it. So let's go ahead and come into our circle. Let's come into our circle sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together as one. And let's just bring everything to face toward the center of our circle. Bring your attention, your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, your throat, all of this to face toward the center of the circle, right? Just imagine from your heart and from all of your sensory perception, like a spoke on a wheel, right? And you're on the outside of the wheel and everything is facing toward the hub, the very center. And so all of our hearts are converging together in this place. And from our hearts, let's call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your essence of your pure divine light and just imagine, perceive, feel that pure divine light streaming directly into the center of the circle, filling all of the space right in front of you. And let it just radiate into your heart, the rays of light, right? The divine name of divine light is Nur, which is that light upon light emanating through this creation and radiating. So we can feel that the rays of the light, of that pure divine light radiating into our beings. Let it fall upon your skin. Let it penetrate through your pores. Let it spiral into your heart, reflect and radiate into your heart. And let your heart center be like a breathing portal. And just breathe that pure divine light into your body. Breathe it in. And again, just absorb it in through your pores. Let your body be like a sponge and let it come all the way through your pores and all the way to the center of your body, that vertical core. And let's call on that light to also come through the top of your head. It's already there, right? When I say call on it, let's just bring our focus and attention and awareness to it as it streams through the top of your head and all the way through the core of your body vertically, running through the core of your body. And it's running like along the front of your spine. It's connecting. If you imagine your head is like a ball, and just imagine it coming through the very top, right? With your head not facing up, but facing straight ahead with a slight downward tilt, really containing your energy in your sphere, right? In your energy sphere, and letting that light come through the top of your head. And it goes right through the very center, halfway front to back, halfway side to side, and all the way down through your throat and through the center of your chest. And again, it intersects that heart space, halfway front to back, halfway side to side, right? That vertical, that funnel that goes through your heart and into the center of your chest, that funnel of energy, right? It intersects into that vertical core, and it moves all the way down vertically. Just imagine your pelvic bowl also like a ball resting in your pelvic bowl, or like an egg shape, really, right? Where the center of gravity is a little bit lower toward the bottom end. It's a little bit beneath your belly button and halfway front to back, halfway side to side in your pelvic bowl. And just let that light run all the way through your body and through your pelvic floor, and just tuning into that. And as you absorb this pure divine light into your body, right, let it move through your pores all the way into this vertical core, and breathe it in through your heart all the way into your vertical core. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. Together, let's call on our source. We call on you. We ask you to send your essence of your unconditional love. Just imagine, perceive, feel this unconditional love streaming into this space in front of you and all around you. And again, just let that funnel of energy from the front of your heart space, just let that receive this downpour of unconditional love, and let this center be like a breathing portal. You breathe it in, breathe it all the way in, and let that unconditional love, remember, love is unconditional. We hold the blocks and barriers. So just let that, there's anything that's ready to go, just let that love come in like a gentle waterfall, a gentle wave. And as you exhale, let it just draw out anything that is ready to release, kind of like the waves of the ocean rolling onto the shore, and taking, as they're drawn back into the ocean, just taking with them any of the debris that's ready to be cleaned up from your shore, taking it back into the ocean where it will be transformed and transmuted into something very beautiful and positive, composted in the healthiest way. And just breathe in that unconditional love. And with each breath, just let it go in a little deeper. And with each exhale, just let it wash out anything that's ready to release. And inhale, draw that unconditional love all the way even deeper. You can stay with this until it's able to move all the way through this heart center and just pour into this vertical core. So fill your whole vertical core with that pure, unconditional love and pure divine light. Just let it flow through the whole core of your body, and bringing that love into your heart. Actually, set your intention, or just open your heart to be loved, to be loved, right? We think of this love flowing through us and how wonderful and free that is. Take that an extra step and really feel the love. loving your space of love. Just feel it loving all of you, and then invite your heart to really receive the love and the being loved, and invite every cell of your whole body to receive the love and to be loved, and to feel what that feels like to be loved in every cell of your body. And again, together, let's call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you, we ask you to send your essence of your eternal compassion. And this is the divine compassion that is it is the container of our entire existence. It is the throne that governs this whole, whatever this is that we're living in, the whole show, the whole reality show of planet Earth is governed by compassion, and it's infused with compassion. It's contained in compassion. And yes, we have a total pure compassion side, and we have an everything else side, and everything else is still infused in compassion and held in compassion. All of the duality, the multiplicity, it's all just like we have unconditional love that is like the life force that flows through everything. Compassion is the container, the womb that contains everything. We're held in compassion. So just imagine, perceive this compassion streaming in and filling the space. And as you breathe this in, like breathe all of your energy into your vertical core, breathe this compassion all the way into your vertical core. And as you exhale, drop down, land into your pelvic bowl, and just feel yourself rest into this container of compassion. Compassion is loving, it's accepting, it is containing, it is nurturing, it is holding, it is protecting. Just let your whole being rest into that container and be held in compassion. And continue absorbing and being held in and infused with this pure divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. And I'm going to share with you the background of what we're going to be doing today as we bring this particular practice to the heart. This is a practice that I did as a practicum when I was testing in my Continuum Movement Teacher Training. I'm a certified teacher in the modality of continuum movement, which is about sound and breath and movement and meditation and transformation and healing. It's a beautiful process, and it merges and dovetails beautifully with the Sufi teachings and the sound codes of the that we use in Sufism. So it's excuse me, in these healings, I like to bring the two of them together, and we learn about just a really incredible thing about the body in that continuum movement, and it's in particular to the heart. It's called the study of the helical heart, the discovery of the helical heart. And this discovery shows that when the embryo is first developing in the womb, that initially there's one long tube, and the I can't go into every detail, but the heart and the blood circulatory system of the body is one long vessel. And through some miracle, somehow there's a twisting that happens. And there's, like when you twist and twist and twist and twist and twist a long tube, for example, and then you bring the ends together, how it will kind of circle up and form a knot, that really, like, the heart is that knot. When you twist and twist and twist and twist and twist that long tube, then that comes together and forms the shape of the heart and the chambers of the heart. And it is one long continuous tube, right? Blood flows in one long flow. And the doctor who discovered this actually took hearts from animals who had died and cut away the outer container, the pericardium, from the heart, and was able to unravel the heart and until it just became one long tube again. So he actually, they're able to, through the modern technology, able to see it developing. But there's this whole miracle of, well, how does this twisting happen? How does that happen? And how does this, not form so perfectly? And of course, that's one of the things that science doesn't know the answer to yet. I find it interesting because in the Arabic language, the name for heart is qalb, which means to turn. And that's like, oh, well, of course, the turning, the turning, the turning. And we also think of the heart as that which is constantly turning between the inner and the inner knowing, the inner connection with the all that is, the inner realm of that pure peace and that connection with the divine and your divine essence. And it's also turning to the outside, looking at the outer world of duality, of multiplicity, of what the heck's going on in this world, and always turning back and forth and comparing, is what I'm seeing on the outside, how does it relate and compare to what I know on the inside, my inner compass that's connected with all that is, that knows unconditional love and peace and this pure divine light and compassion. So the heart is a constant turning, right? And in its inner workings of the physical heart is a spiraling, right? It's a spiral. And that's what helical means, the spiraling heart. So it's a spiral. So as we bring the breath today into the heart, we're going to make an intention to bring it in with a spiraling motion, really spiraling into the heart and spiraling through the system of the heart, the organ of the heart, the muscle of the heart, right? The heart is a muscle. And so we're going to bring a breath through in that spiraling. So just take a minute as you're just breathing in this unconditional love through your heart and just kind of tune in to perhaps a spiraling motion. I know we're talking about the subtle energy heart when we're using that as a breathing portal to breathe all the way into the vertical core. But just notice also, like, bring your attention in, because of course the chakras, the subtle energy centers, are also spiraling. Everything is spiraling, right? We're spiraling even just sitting in our chairs in our homes because this earth is rotating and revolving, and it's a constant spiral through the universe, right? A moving spiral all through the universe. And um, so as you bring your breath and breathing that unconditional love into your heart center, just imagine it spiraling through and notice how that shifts your ability to really bring that flow of love or allow that flow of love to move through your heart. So just take a minute with that and breathe that through kind of in a spiraling motion and notice how that changes your heart's ability to receive love and allow that love to flow through. So notice if that changes anything at all for you. And we're going to start with the sound of who. Kind of sounds like WHO, like who is this? But who. And in the for our intentions. It's really spelled like with the subtle H, just the very subtle H sound with followed by the ooh sound, right? The ooh, which goes through your lips. And this is, I'll say a few words about the significance of who. You've probably heard of the who meditation. And the who is, if you've heard me talk about the step levels of creation from Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi or heard anyone talk about that, there is a sequence of sound that travels. It's actually he presents it as the step levels of creation from the time that God said kun or be until the time that this whole creation started emanating into existence. There's 28 step levels of creation. The very first one is with the sound of the aleph, which is the ah sound, but it's actually before it has vocalization, it's a silent letter that pierces the veil from beyond this realm into this realm, right? Pierces the membrane in which this time and space dimension exists, right? Our creation, our created world. So the silent aleph pierces the veil, right? And it comes in like we are a microcosm of the macrocosm, so we contain this in its order within our bodies. So it pierces the veil and it kind of pierces you from behind your heart as a silent breath. And when it comes into your vertical core, right through your spine and into your vertical core, it's merged with all of your senses, right there, and it's like given this in the language, it's given a hamza on top. You imagine your it's kind of like a circular thing with a circular mark, right, over the straight letter. So your skull is like that circular mark over your spine. So when the silent letter comes through and it pierces the veil behind your heart, right behind your heart center, and it comes into being, it's given vocalization, a voice, and it says, ah, it says, ah. So let yourself just feel that breath coming kind of prior to the who. Okay, this is prior to the who. Let that breath come in through the back of your heart, that silent breath. And as it comes in and merges with your vertical core, let's see if you can give it that ah sound, that ah. Let that come through. And then directly after that is that subtle H. Ah. And in the realms of creation, that's like the word of God being like spoken, and the is like being recorded onto, so it's like the pen and the tablet being the word and then the recording of that word into this realm. So that's like let that come in through the back of your heart, that ah, like the word coming in, or it's these are from the realm of the pure mind of God. So this is like the very first intellect, and it's being recorded. So it's like the intellect of God, the intelligence of everything within this creation, and it is being recorded. And then from there, there's all of the step levels of creation that move along and along the vocal tract, right? For all of the realms that bring it from that first word of God being created into its final existence. Final existence. There's no such thing as a final existence because the ooh sound in itself is a spiral. It's represented by the letter wow in the Arabic language, which is a spiral. And it's represented as an ever emanating, ever spiraling. It represents the beauty in creation and also that Fibonacci sequence, right? Which is like that spiraling that you see in nature, you see in the seashells, you see in the flower petals, you see in so many plants, you see in the galaxies, in the cosmos, you see it in the heart itself, in the physical heart of the body, in the shape of the heart. You see it everywhere in nature, that ever emanating, ever spiraling, that golden ratio that is represented by the Fibonacci sequence, that's that infinitely emanating and spiraling of creation and of consciousness. And so when we are saying the whoo sound, we're like tapping into from the beginning of the recording of God's intelligence, that first intellect, moving all the way through all of the step levels of creation into this emanating, spiraling, ever expanding existence, creation, and consciousness. So that who, this, bring that, just let yourself kind of sit with that who, and feel how the H comes from the space behind your heart or within your heart space, the center of your chest. And it moves up through your vocal tract and out your lips, right? From this piercing the veils into the very first, the pure mind of God, and then moving through all of the worlds and all of the layers of creation into the realm of this manifest existence that we experience as a Planet Earth reality show. And so this encompasses all of that and all of the wisdom contained within it. So bring that who, and as you do, just let it spiral into the center of your chest, into your heart space, and experience that, feel that. Feel that as it spirals into your heart. And just notice how your heart feels initially. Like, do you have those blocks and barriers we talked about? Do you just, notice where some parts, like it wants to maybe move around this way or that way? And just notice what else shows up in your body that you might feel or experience. And just gently bring that ooh, that soft ooh into your body. Bring that soft into the center of, like, let it spiral through your heart center. And just notice if your body wants to move, to help that move around, let your body have movement. And if your breath wants to move into your diaphragm to give movement to your diaphragm, let that have its movement. Whatever your body needs, really support it as best you can to allow this whole from the subtle H moving all the way through your vocal tract and ooh, and then let that spiral into your heart space. Ooh. Is also pronoun for the name of God, right? It's used as a pronoun for God. Like we use he or she as pronouns. Who is a pronoun for the name of God? And when you think about it, it contains all of that intelligence and wisdom of all of creation from the very first penetration into the veil, recorded into this realm, and moving through all of the worlds and all of the step levels of creation into this ever spiraling, ever emanating creation and consciousness, and ever evolving. All of that wisdom, which you don't have to know with your mind, just know that all of this wisdom is represented within that name of who. Just let that spiral through your heart center and land into your heart. And however your body wants to move with that, let your body move. You may feel, as I did in my meditation this morning, just I felt a lot moving from my low back and my hips. It was ready to move out as this was clearing out my heart. And I had to do some, just some gentle movement to allow that to release from that part of my body and let that move out. So if you have something like that, by all means support, let your body be supported to release what it wants to release. It doesn't have to come directly from the heart, but moving this energy through the heart, because the heart is like that holographic um, space that everything that you see and that exists within you is mirrored in the heart. And we're going to add one more sound. I said we're going to do two sounds, the who, and then the second one is just the sound, like humming. You're going to bring this humming into your heart to vibrate through your heart space. And I'll explain some of the significance about the sound, the meme sound in Arabic. The meme is, it's interesting, the woman who brought through Continuum Movement is Jewish. Her language is Hebrew, which is very close to the Arabic. And the mem in Hebrew means water. The meme in the Arabic is that fluid existence. It's the fluid essence. So your blood that circulates through your heart is 92% water, and it carries nourishment to all of your body, all of the cells of your body, right? And we've all heard about the works from Masaru Emoto, Dr. Masaru Emoto. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Forgive me if I mispronounced his first name. Dr. Emoto did the studies on messages with water, messages in water, and where he did various prayers and intentions into water, and then he froze the crystals, right, and took pictures of them at the crystals of water at their time of freezing, and showed the different shapes based on different intentions, and really showed how our intentions can impact the shape of water. And actually, when I was in healing school, we did a similar thing with one of those live cell uh, microscopes, where you can take the blood and you can look at the blood live cell analysis under that microscope. We did this before and after healing sessions, and it was incredible, where the cells would be all clumped together and not moving, and like stagnant. There's a lot of stagnation in that, and it didn't look healthy, and it wasn't healthy. And then we would do the healing session, and you would and take the blood again and look at it, and it was flowing, and it was order to it, and it was moving. So it's incredible what this healing can do and how that can be shown and represented in your blood. So the represents that fluid essence right? The fluid in your body is 75% water-ish, right? 75%-ish water. And your blood, 92% water. So that is bringing that then and connecting in with the blood. And there's another significance to the sound of M. In the step levels of creation, the sound of the meme is the level of creation that introduces the human being into creation. And it is governed by the divine name Jamia, which is the gatherer. And all of this wisdom, right, that we talked about that's represented in the who is gathered into the human being so that we can come here into this wow experience of this ever emanating consciousness and creation to play out this our also spiraling journey, right, to evolve our consciousness through this ultimate planet Earth reality show. So all of this it's very representative, a lot of representation in it, but it's through the you know the sound is vibration. Vibration has various frequencies and properties. Every sound, as Ibn Arabi said, is a world unto itself. It carries so much meaning and so much depth. So again, spiraling that ooh through the center of your chest, and then let it land with a mm, with the meme. Mm. And as you bring this sound into the center of your chest, just let yourself really rest into this space and feel like the beauty of all of this wisdom, this intellect, God's intellect, and just let yourself drop in into this space. Feel your connection. Let yourself just imagine your conscious body, your body floating into this heart space, right? As you're spiraling through with the who, and then resting into the and feel the vibration in your chest. And let your being just rest in there, like marinating in a soup, and let the all of that wisdom and that knowledge be gathered and absorbed into your body vibrationally, right? Where it exists. It's already there. But let yourself, this is again, this is you're letting yourself absorb it. Just invite every cell of your body to absorb it and to really take it into your consciousness, into your awareness. Right? It's already there in your consciousness, but so much lives in the subconscious. Let it come into your conscious awareness and really become an active part of your cellular consciousness. Right? That's where your deep reflex action knowing comes from, or where it resides. It's where that deep intellect, that consciousness resides. You can call up that reflex action. So again, spiraling through the center of your heart with the whoo, then landing with the mm. And as you land with that the M sound or the meme sound, the mem sound, just let yourself really lean back into your heart space, like leaning into and being held in your heart center Lean back into it, rest into it, melt into it, and absorb all of the wisdom and knowledge that's contained within this very sacred center, the center of your chest. Just in case the sound is cutting out, I am elongating that M sound to make it like a hum and let that hum vibrate in the center of your chest. The whoo spiraling through and into the center of your chest, and the mm, the hum, this, letting that vibrate into the back of your heart space, and let yourself land in that gentle water, like being held in that water. Reminds me of a recurring dream that I had when I was kind of first, shortly after my initial spiritual awakening experience, which was a very powerful experience, totally transformed my life. And after that, I would have this dream that I was in this downtown building, and it felt like a downtown Austin old building. That was where I lived at the time. And I was working on the ground floor of this building, and all of a sudden the water came up and started to rise, and it was rising in the streets, and it was filling the room and the building. And I started to go into panic and run up the stairs to the second story, and the water kept coming up and up. And I was like ran up the stairs to the third story, and it just kept rising. And then I found myself on the roof of the building, and the water was still rising, and I was trying to get above it and trying to get above it. And all of a sudden, this majestic, strong voice came in and said, "Just swim." And in that instant, everything let go, and I just melted into the water and became just moving in like the jellyfish and the octopus move through the water. I just became that and was moving through the water, and it was the most freeing feeling. Like, just swim and let your whole body be in that ocean, right? The Rumi also says that this forms we seem to be are cups floating in an ocean of living consciousness. We think we are the cups, but what we are is ocean, too near to see, that we swim in it and drink it in. It says, don't be the cup with the dry rim. Really let yourself drop into this ocean. Let your cup be filled with this ocean. Let your entire being be one with the ocean of living consciousness as you drop into this place in your heart, this ocean of living consciousness within your own heart, spiraling through with the whoo and dropping in, leaning into with the mm. And let your body have the movement it wants to have, the breath it needs to have, whatever it needs to do. And just notice if there's an intention or a prayer that you want to make to help you through, or gratitude, I should say, and or gratitude. And just gratitude is a beautiful thing, because even if you don't know what you're receiving and what all you're experiencing, in a subconscious way. Your subconsciousness is experiencing it. Your subtle body is experiencing it. Just receive and trust that the knowledge of it will become more conscious as you move through your days or weeks, right? And you can always come back and do this again and spend more time with it. And so let's go ahead and move into the gratitude and really let your heart feel the gratitude for whatever you may have received from that pure mind of God, that first intellect that pierces the veil into this realm of creation, that brings all of this ever emanating, ever spiraling, ever evolving creation and consciousness into being. And all of that wisdom is gathered into the center of your heart for you to come to know it in a conscious way on your Earth journey through the Planet Earth reality show. And so just give gratitude, let your heart bow in gratitude. When your heart bows, it like opens up the cells to receive even deeper. Kun fayakun, be and it is. Be and it is. Be and it is. Right. You might want to stretch out your toes and circle your ankles, stretch your feet, feel your feet on the ground. You do the same with your fingers and your hands and your wrists, your shoulders, anything else that wants to move. Just put your hands onto something close by and really ground yourself into your physical space, right? Knowing that all of this wisdom, all of this knowledge, all of this consciousness stays in place inside of you, becoming more and more conscious all the time, evolving your level of consciousness, your awareness, your awakeness, and also evolving our consciousness and our creation on this planet. Okay, interesting. Okay. A lot of things go through my head sometimes, but I'm not going to share that right now. Let's go ahead and bring this part of the meditation to a close, and we'll be opening for the Q&A and anything that you want to share. If you are listening to the recording, you are welcome to join us, invited to join us live on Sundays at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. You can find information for joining us live at communityforconsciousliving.com, communityforconsciousliving.com. While you're there, sign up to receive the reminders and the replays. You'll get a reminder about this event. You'll get the replay afterwards, and notice about any other things that we have going on. But you don't get bombarded with emails. You get 2 a week and occasionally a third. All right. And with that, let's see. When you do sign up to receive those reminders, you receive 2 free gifts. One is a one sheet that you can download that's the 10 spiritual principles of our human existence. You can put it up anywhere to remind yourself who and what you are, what this planet Earth human journey is about, this planet Earth reality show is about, and help you to keep things in perspective as you're moving along in this world. It really helps to keep things in perspective, helps you to not get so caught up in the chaos, but to remember and return to this place of peace and harmony within yourself. It also comes with a 15-minute downloadable guided meditation that I hope you will download and use as a part of your daily practice to help you to connect with the pure divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion that is the truth of who and what you are. All right, with that, I thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you live next week. And I'm opening now for Q&A.